Alright, let me start off by saying I apologise. I got a match last week during my review wrong. It's not triple threat between John Cena, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, although it probably might as well be. Essentially what it's going to be, what it was last week, a match which was set up last week was Dean Ambrose versus John Cena. The winner was going to go on to face Seth Rollins in the Hell in a Cell. But the other person, no, was screwed. That all changed this week. Clearly WWE had a rethink. The show itself, it's definitely a show that you can feel is missing some stars, and that's what you saw here. It's heavily missing some stars. Basically, what we got here was substandard, but that's all you're getting these days. From pretty much now till January, when half of these stars come back, that's all you're really going to get these days. So here, what we got was a good start. I actually really liked the start. Dean Ambrose versus John Cena. I thought both my skills was on point today. I loved Dean Ambrose's jab about, I've been ready for years to whoop your ass, John Cena, which you could feel as an indie guy who probably watches John Cena all the time and think I can do a better job than that. You could believe that was true. So that's what I liked about that. Even when Steph and Triple H came out making their little stupid jokes about betting and stuff, it didn't spoil the segment. They set up a match, kind of a triple threat tag team match, basically pitting Cena and Ambrose together and pairing them off against the Usos and Goldust and Stardust. Cena and Ambrose won that match. Match was pretty good. Was what it was. Then after that, Triple H came out and basically said, well, screw this match happening at Hell in a Cell. It's going to be Ambrose versus Cena, contract on a pole, to face Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. And we're going to have that match tonight. So clearly WWE have had a change of thought process, and I'm glad they did, even if it now means the other match of what we're going to get for the 80,000th time. By that I mean, Orton basically stormed in and said that what he wanted the loser of that match in the main event at Hell in a Cell. So Authority said, alright, cool, you got it. You got the loser. So after all that was done, we went into, I believe it was AJ Lee and how could I forget my girl, the sexy Layla, versus sorry, I don't know why my phone keeps going off, versus the new besties of Paige and Alicia Fox. I don't know I honestly don't know what sort of story they're trying to tell here. For me, this whole feud has been booked incorrectly, and it's still, to me, one of the most disappointing storylines of the year, because both these girls can go, but there just seems like there's been no long-term thought process as to how we're going to book it. They first started off Paige as a face, and then they started AJ as a heel, and then they reversed the two, and now you don't know what the fuck either one of these girls is. It's annoying, and they keep flip-flopping the belt between the two. It's incredible. It's just a frustrating storyline to follow. what you got here essentially was Layla left AJ hanging. It didn't seem to make any difference to AJ anyway because she went on to win the match. Pretty much won it straight after Layla left her hanging. I don't understand the point. I don't get it. What are they trying to tell us here? It's just a story that makes no fucking sense to me. Then they did, and you got a couple of matches here. You got Orton beating Dolph in fairly quick fashion, but it was tell a lie. It was a decent match. It was a decent match, but you knew who was going to win, and it was Orton. The thing I did like was that they teased a little bit of tension between Seth, who's basically like the WWE title at the moment. Everyone seems to want a bit of him. They teased some tension here between Orton and Seth. Seth came down, basically a little show, one-upmanship, gave Dolph Ziggler the curb stomp. Little stare down with Orton. That rolled literally straight into Seth versus Jack Swagger, which was alright. Seth won via roll-up. Orton came down. RKO. Longer stare down. Seth slithered out ring. Don't know what the point is, but I thought it was interesting. And you got this Rusev versus Big Show thing. Again, I don't know why this fight wasn't at Hell in the Cell. Apparently they did a brief match on SmackDown as well. It kind of was what it was, but I suppose where it did get interesting was towards the end, because Rusev had Big Show locked in the Accolade, and Mark Henry came down trying to rally and boost the Big Show. Big Show was slowly fading. Then Mark Henry got onto the turnbuckle, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Rusev knocked off Mark Henry, went back into the Accolade, put Big Show back in the Accolade. Big Show wasn't tapping, but he clearly was going to pass out. Mark Henry came in, clotheslined Rusev, and Big Show seemed perfectly okay with the fact that he needed Mark Henry's help to not pass out. It literally made no sense to me. And then they both surrounded Rusev, which basically ended up with Rusev being knocked the fuck out. I'm baffled, but baffled I suppose in a good way, because I'm intrigued to see where they go with it. Because I thought Henry was a heel now, but maybe not. So I don't know. We'll see where we go with this one. I have a feeling. I have a good feeling this will end. That storyline is gonna end in a surprising way. So that's why I'm a bit like, I don't know. We'll see. Sheamus versus The Miz. No one cares about this match because the most entertaining thing by far was fucking Damien Sandow. Push Damien fucking Sandow. Push him down. He was so entertaining. It was unbelievable. I couldn't care less about the match. I was more interested in what fucking Sandow was doing. He genuinely made me laugh during this match. But you just know. You know that they're gonna kill the storyline dead. They're gonna kill this storyline dead because, let's face it, Sandow's getting a lot more over than WWE want him to the point now where he's overshadowing The Miz. So fully expect The Miz to turn on him at some point, because it's gonna happen. Me personally, I like the whole act. It doesn't make me like Miz more. It doesn't make me think that this is a main event character. But what it is a good, solid mid-card character. You know it's Miz. The company's hired Miz, so they'll feature him correctly. In turn, they'll feature Damien Mizdow. Whether you think it's correctly or not, at least they're featuring him. So let's be thankful for small mercies here. And who knows where they'll go with this. I think they will stop it dead and rebury Sandow, because you know WWE, they don't like motherfuckers getting over by themselves. The problem is that they've given Miz a character to get Damien Sandow over. That's what's happening here. So expect this storyline to be stopped just as it starts to get good. I don't pay attention to Total Diva storylines anymore, but so I'm actually not going to talk about this one because this one involved that horrible-looking woman from Atlanta's Wives or whatever the fuck one of. There's so many of those type of shows. I could have. Fuck it. So I'm not going to talk about this. So then we got contract on the pole match. John Cena versus Dean Ambrose. It was alright. Essentially started off with literally all the members of the Authority surrounding the ring in some form or fashion. They didn't get involved in the most part until they did get involved. I actually liked the finish. You knew somehow if Cena was putting over Ambrose, they were going to protect Cena. But I actually liked the way they did this. Basically Ambrose dispatched of Seth. Then Cena dispatched of Orton. And while Cena was giving Kane the AA, Dean Ambrose did what any smart motherfucker would do. While fucking Cena is distracted doing what the fuck he's doing, he's gonna roll up the pole on the ladder and take the contract off, and that's exactly what he did. So obviously they did a little stare down, double stare down. Cena realizing he's gonna face fucking Orton for the 85,100th time. I will not watch that match. And Ambrose is gonna face Seth at long last in the Hell in a Cell. Both matches will be in the Cell. Probably with all the stars that is left, it's probably the biggest matches they could probably muster. I'm about as excited for this as most of you guys are, which is not very. The only match I am excited about, thank God they rectified their mistake, and it will be Seth versus Dean in that Cell, as it should be. I will be looking forward to that. I think that will be a very good match. And I actually hope Dean goes over. I hope Dean Ambrose goes over. I think he has a lot of momentum though, which makes me think Seth might. But I don't think Dean has actually beaten Seth yet. So at some point you need to put Dean Ambrose over. So yeah, I would quite like to see what happens in this match. Anyway, sorry about the lacklusterness of this review. Shows you how unentertained I was by this show. But I do like the work they're doing with Dean Ambrose. He is getting that Roman Reigns treatment in absence of Roman Reigns. And he's doing good work with it. So I hope it continues. Please do comment, subscribe. I'm still in the process of moving, so if you don't see a review for a few weeks, you know why. Take care, y'all. Peace.